Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at SoundHound. It is time for another update, and on this chart we are tracking a possible 5-wave move to the upside that is still in development, where we have so far a wave 1 up, a wave 2 down, a third wave up, a fourth wave possibly complete, at least in the white scenario, and then we would be looking for continuation to the upside in a wave 5. Now, as long as we stay above the 61.8% retracement at the $4.4 level, we are perfectly fine following the yellow interpretation, where instead we would be looking for still another low in this area. And in fact, it might even be a zigzag correction that is occurring here, but regardless, we are looking mostly for a C wave to the downside in this area, where so far we might have completed an initial wave 1 to the downside, but still there is a lot more to prove before we can confirm that this is the C wave to the downside. And especially because in this movement to the upside we could be tracking a diagonal structure, I could see the case that this could be an A wave that has developed, and we could be even in a larger wave B retracement that would still allow for continuation to the upside without really following the yellow interpretation, where we would instead most likely be looking for another low in this 5-wave movement to the downside. Now, so far we have pushed to the top of the resistance area that we have here marked in yellow at the $18.8 level. We did even break above it very briefly, so nothing significant, and basically we got held by the resistance and we created quite a strong and what looks like an even impulsive reaction here to the downside. Now, what I can tell you about the structure that we have right now: technically this could continue in a more straight fashion directly to the upside. It is very difficult to count such a structure because I have many ways I could really interpret it. I could even look at this as a wave 1, a wave 2, a third wave up, a fourth wave down, and then this would be a fifth wave. I could also be looking at it maybe something like this, although this doesn't really work out actually. But the idea is it could even be something like a 1, 2, a third wave up, and we would be now in a fourth wave down, and then we get the fifth wave, and then we complete the A wave, and still we find possibly quite a deep correction within a wave B afterwards. So unfortunately, we don't have a clear structure on this chart, and in fact, the movement to the downside does look a lot more like a 5-wave move than what we have to the upside in any case, and that would be suggesting further continuation to the downside. But then again, previously in this movement, we pretty much were very close to forming here a movement to the downside in 5 waves, and in some cases I could have even considered that this was a truncation in the 5th wave, but we managed still to break higher, and that didn't stop us from pushing in the opposite direction of what the trend was really suggesting. So that is why we are actually tracking the levels, because we know that once they are broken, the probabilities suggest that the interpretation that we were tracking, for example, if we break here above the 78.6% retracement, the probabilities suggest that this is probably not an impulse forming to the downside especially, and maybe not even a larger ABC structure. Now, I keep talking about this as if the wave 1 is complete. And it could be, but I have to say, within this structure, I could even see another low still within this initial wave 1 to the downside. And for that to be invalidated, really, I would need to see a break in the case of such a wave 4 here in yellow above the 50% retracement at the $16.9 level. So far, we really only got this to the 38.2% retracement, which is the ideal target for wave 4. And we haven't even really touched it, at least not yet. But I could see still another low within this wave 1 before looking for a push higher. But if we actually go higher, I could see it complete. I could consider it complete. It is not very clear within this time frame and such a tight structure, but I could give you this line that I would be looking out for to break, basically the 78.6% retracement. And if we manage to break that in a consistent fashion where, yeah, we don't just get a quick wick above it and then break below. But if we manage to really break this resistance level, we could be looking at a more straight continuation to the upside in some sort of a weird pattern that really would be unfolding, most likely in the white interpretation in the A wave. But yeah, as long as we actually stay below this B wave top, we could, with high likelihood, expect continuation to the downside in a wave C that would again be formed out of a 5-wave structure. And for now, really there isn't much else to add. We could look a little bit, I suppose, at the internal structure to the upside that is forming here, but so far we really only have a 3-wave structure, and quite possibly we already completed this wave 4. So personally, I am a bit more inclined to seeing a bit more further downside, but yeah, probably we will see an end towards this wave 1 in a reasonable amount of time. And that is not to actually exclude the possibility that, yeah, maybe this isn't even the 4th wave and we could have completed the wave 1 and this could be the wave 2. But I wouldn't find that the most probable interpretation. And besides that, I can give you a support zone to look out for in terms of pushing for further continuation to the upside. And for that, in this tiny structure, we could be looking at the area between the $16 level all the way down to the $15.5 level at the 78.6% retracement. So as long as we stay above this level, we can still track some sort of an upside. And if we manage to stay above the 50% retracement, or as long as we stay above that, we could instead, in fact, be looking even for a 5-wave structure. Oh my god, my scroll is acting up, I apologize. But yeah, in this case, we could still be looking for a 5-wave structure that could still work out and have an initial small wave 1 in this case, and we could then look for a wave 2, and then we have a pretty good likelihood of pushing in a next wave to the upside. Even if it is not in a 3rd wave, it could at least turn out to be a zigzag movement in an ABC pattern, and that, if you are interested, could be a short time opportunity. But yeah, only really after we have a clear 5-wave structure, and for that we need to hold above the 50% retracement here at the $15.9 level. And for now, these are the levels. This is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe and let me know what else you want me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.